And welcome back to Mizzou Hockey TV. My name's Luca Vitale. Alongside me today, Danny Rudman. Danny, how are we doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. So obviously you're number 11 on Mizzou Hockey. You're a winger, but beyond that, maybe some fans don't know who are you, so you want to just sort of talk to the fans. Who are you exactly?
My name's Danny Rudman. I was born in St. Louis, grew up there playing hockey, started at age 3. Continued on, kind of moved around a little bit, ended up in O'Fallon, Missouri, playing high school and playing Central States at Afton for Bob Bucher, who coaches here now.
Yeah, speaking of Bob Bucher, I spoke with him last week on the show, and he sort of detailed the injury front, and you happen to be one of those players that happened to be in the injury front. Obviously, you did not play for the Purdue series this past weekend, so do you want to sort of talk to us what's going on with the injury front, sort of discuss your injury a little bit?
Yeah, when we played Ole Miss about a month ago and just took a bad hit, ended up getting 2 compression fractures in my back. So unfortunately had to miss the Purdue weekend, and I'm probably not going to be able to play until beginning of December area.
Well, that's unfortunate for the Mizzou team because obviously this past weekend I'm sure the team missed you a lot out there. And let's talk about this Purdue series, obviously, right? Obviously, you guys dropped both of them, and definitely something you guys don't want to be doing, especially coming back against the series against Arkansas. So let's sort of dive deep in this Purdue series. Obviously, there's a lot of good things that happened and a lot of things that didn't go right. So let's start about the positive sides, right? You want to sort of discuss what are some good things that you saw sitting on the sidelines, unfortunately, because you're hurt. What are some good things that you saw?
Honestly, the guys didn't quit. We were in a game where we were down, and the first game was kind of a shootout. We were going back and forth, and all the way to overtime, they stayed in it. Just staying up on your systems and trying to keep the momentum going, even when you're in a tight spot. That's something we've always been good at, and I know the boys will never give up. So that's always a positive.
You a Rocky fan by any chance?
Yeah.
Okay, so one of my favorite quotes from Rocky Balboa, let's take a look at this right here, is it ain't about how hard you hit, it is about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward, how much you can take and keep moving forward. I would say this quote right here sort of fully encapsulates this sort of Purdue series, right? You talked about what you guys did do well. You guys dropped that first game, which I believe was probably not a game you guys wanted to drop because you were up 5-2 going in the third period. You let up 3 in the third period, and then obviously the overtime winner to William Toriani, who is one of the best players in D3 hockey, in my opinion. Having said all that, let's sort of go to the flip side of this. Obviously, there's some things that did not look good on this sort of thing. So I'm going to give you my opinion. You can sort of talk to me if you agree or disagree with me. Within a hockey game, obviously, there's 60 minutes. I feel like you guys only played 40 minutes. I feel like I saw the best of you guys in the first 40 minutes. And what I saw those first 40 minutes, you guys can compete with Purdue. The last 20 minutes, you guys did not look like the same team. And I feel like that made a huge difference. And then leaving playmakers on Purdue like William Toriani and Goran on Purdue, you guys allowed them to sort of create a lot of separation, a lot of space, and that generated a lot of scoring opportunities. Do you agree with that, or what?
Yeah, okay. The first 2 periods were great. We played Mizzou hockey. We played the hockey that we know how to play, and we stuck to our systems. And the third period, it just kind of got away from us. We had a couple defensive breakdowns that led to some unfortunate goals, and we kind of just hung them out to dry. And I mean, it showed that that's what happens.
So, obviously, yeah, there's the defensive breakdowns, definitely. You saw William Toriani in the doorstep a couple of times, especially the overtime winner goal. He was by himself on the doorstep. Tanner Richardson, he couldn't do much about that breakaway. And like you also said, the third period definitely made, in my opinion, a really big difference in this past series. But obviously, it's about, as Rocky would say, how you move forward. You're going to learn from this, and honestly, I don't know why people believe this is a bad series. I wouldn't say this is a bad series at all. I think this is tape that you guys are going to use and sort of learn from it, and then you move on to Arkansas, which, unfortunately, your schedule does not get much easier. However, it's sort of a test to see how you guys are able to move forward. So that's a good thing. Now, sort of transitioning to this Arkansas series, this is definitely a huge a huge matchup in my opinion. This is definitely probably your biggest series in the season. Would you agree?
Yeah, one of them for sure.
And why would you say that?
Arkansas, they've been one of our rivals. They were our rival last year. A couple years ago when the Mizzou club wasn't as competitive, there was always a big rivalry with Arkansas still, but we could never quite get over the hump and beat them. And last year we did it. I think we played them 3 times and we won 2 out of the 3, one of them being at MACHA. So this is a huge series going back, and I think everybody's ready for it. It's at home, so we're excited.
Yeah, and you guys are very hungry, I have to admit. You guys are hungry for this series, and Arkansas, as long as I've been working for you guys, it's one of my favorite series of all time. It's not only a division series like you said, but you guys beat them last year in the semifinals to get to the championship, to play Nebraska and win your guys' first MACHA Championship in program history. Mm-hmm. So definitely this is something very big to watch, obviously, unfold this weekend. But keeping that in mind, this time around, Arkansas is a really different team. Yes, they're a very good team, but they don't have Griffin Sugaswar anymore. They don't have Zach Wilson anymore, and they do not have Cameron McAtee anymore. I'm sure you guys recognize those names. They don't have Michael Ellis anymore, who, as I like to call, an agitator. He reminds me of Danny Carcillo in the NHL, an agitator. But what I will say is this is a different team. And going into the series, what's the mentality going against the Razorbacks?
Honestly, the mentality is going to be the exact same. We're going to play them as if they still do have all those high-octane scorers. McAtee was one of those guys where you had to have somebody on him at all times, and you couldn't let him get loose. So we're going to have the same defensive mentality to just keep those scoring chances to a minimum and come back with a high-powered offense.
Yeah, just like Arkansas, you guys also have a high-octane offense. Despite losing that Purdue series, you guys still looked really good offensively. Now, with Arkansas, like I said, those playmakers are gone, but like you said, they still have a very good high-octane offense. They got Connor Chapman, who's a very good sophomore, and they still got Kyle Cruz, who's a very good face-off dude and is very good at generating scoring opportunities. So keeping that in mind, those are, in my opinion, their 2 best playmakers. Purdue had William Toriani and Sam Goran. How do you guys contain their best playmakers and limit their scoring opportunities?
Obviously, a lot of that is going to be line matching. Coach Bucher does a great job with the offense of making sure that whatever line they get out there isn't going to go unchecked. We're going to have our scorers on their scorers, or our defensive players on their offensive players, trying to create those mismatches that are going to lead to scoring opportunities.
Yeah, defensively, I'm glad you mentioned their defense because, like Purdue, that's a stout defense. You guys saw with Frank, who is very good in Zane Burnside, who is very good defensively. And like them, Arkansas is very good defensively. Limited Nebraska, which you guys saw last year, limited them to less than 20 shots a game in both games, and they swept them this past weekend. So keeping that in mind, how do you guys establish an offensive attack right away?
Our forecheck is going to be pretty essential to establishing the attack against Arkansas. Getting the puck deep and getting one hard on the puck and setting up the rest of that forecheck to kind of close off the breakout lanes and just keep the puck down low so we can cycle. That's going to be our biggest game plan for attack, is to just offensive zone time and just putting shots on net.
Is that something you guys are working on this week in practice?
Yeah. We work on our forecheck and our breakout. Essentially all of our systems. That's our Tuesday practice, and Monday is just our tune-up and our get in shape for the weekend skate.
Okay, good to know. So now we're going to sort of talk about the physical aspect of this, right? Purdue, as you notice, matched up to you guys physically, size-wise. Arkansas is the same thing. They pride themselves on size and physicality. Just like you guys, that's one of your, in my opinion, your component of your identity. How do you guys win the physical battle?
I think it's all just about tenacity. I mean, we're both physical teams, but I think when it comes down to it, I think we want it more. This team is really, really driven, and everybody has, like I said last year, everyone has the same belief in that national championship goal, and I don't think anybody's going to quit until we have it, so hope they're ready for it.
So now we're going to talk about the power play. That is something you guys did very well against Purdue, is the power play, capitalizing on those man advantages. What's clicking for you guys on this man advantage?
Honestly, just having everybody on the ice together that equally knows the power play and the chemistry between like the 5 power play unit guys, and being able to fill slots and not have to be coached off on a timeout or whatever, and just being able to like keep the fluidity of it all. You know, you can rotate, you can move in motion, but at the end of the day, everyone's going to be in the right spot. So.
Yeah, so now going into this series, obviously, unfortunately, you won't be able to play, but being from the bench, you obviously know Arkansas very well. You played them, you said 3 times last year? Okay, so 3 times now, 3 games under your belt in your career going against Arkansas. What would you say are 3 keys, your personal 3 keys of beating Arkansas?
Number 1, obviously, like you said, physicality, tenacity, winning battles. We just got to want it more than them. 2, it's going to be that power play. Making them make mistakes and go to the box is going to be our biggest strong suit in that game. We're going to be able to score power play goals if we can get them to take penalties. And then 3rd is to not give up on ourselves. We got a little bit rattled against Purdue. It's the first time we've been in that situation, first time we've been down in a game. And I think it was a little bit of a struggle on the bench to keep all the guys in it. So just making sure the guys stay in good spirits and keep going in the game regardless of which way the score goes at the start.
All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to Mizzou Hockey TV. Be sure to follow us on social media. My name is Luca Vitale, alongside me, Danny Rudman, and have a good day.